What was it like then for you, where you got to work with bands like Slipknot and they got a #1 album?
I mean, it's always amazing to work on Slipknot. It's like they're because they're so well known. Even my mum knew.
That's how you know.
Exactly. And I've worked with other big bands, like, you know, I worked with Green Day recently. I don't, you know, no disrespect, because they're an amazing band and massive. But Mum didn't really know who Green Day were, but she knew who Slipknot were. But that's, I think, just because of all the stuff that came out when they came around. You know, she's like, oh, they're the one with the mask. It's like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible to work with a band like that who are so huge, whose fan base is like incredible. Having the #1 album was so good. I think I'd worked on a record before that was #2, so it was like, you know, I guess it's like the pressure feels a little bit on because you want to deliver like a big record for them. And I think I think we just got the wrong week, and we sold a lot of records, but there was like a weird, I remember like George Ezra album out the same, it sold like incredible amount. But yeah, to get the next one to #1, and then we actually had a follow up. The last one we had a #1 with as well, and so it's really amazing, and they're great. The team that they have behind them and their management are amazing to work with as well. And I work with them in lots of other projects that, you know, different bands that they manage that are on our label as well. So yeah, it's really good. It's just like it's a proper well-oiled machine, and you know, there's so much stuff going on around it and behind the scenes. And like I said, there's a fair bit of pressure on you because you really want to deliver for someone like that.
When do you get involved with it? When do they come to you with your role in marketing and say, like, this is happening and we need to put something together?
It depends really on where the band is signed. So like a lot of our stuff signed out of the US. So what happened is a few months before, once they start to put the campaign together, then we start getting all our information and timelines and get to hear music, see whatever we can, any artwork, aesthetics, and then we can start building our plan for the UK out of that. And then there's some other bands that's been signed to the UK, and we literally, you know, start from day one with those kind of things. So at that point, we're doing the videos and we're making the artwork and we're putting together the timelines ourselves. So but you still get, you know, plenty of time to set things up because there's a lot of stuff to sort before we can put a record out. So
with a band at that level, are you approaching it with a completely fresh campaign and you're all coming up with new ideas, or is there sort of like a template where you sort of like, I know these are the things that I need to hit, so let's try and move those into those boxes?
Do you mean like is it for each album, or do you mean like for different artists, or you just mean for Slipknot, say, for different albums?
For like different artists. So like you've got something as big as Slipknot and you've got something as big as Green Day. Is there sort of a template where you're like, I know I need to do the same things on this album as I did on this album because they're both huge? Or is it just like,
I think there's like
completely different
processes that you do that are the same. So I think things like print advertising is, you know, and I know people say print is dead, but it's not. And there's some great publications out there. So we'll still be going, right, well, we might, you know, do the right print ads for these kind of things, but there'll be completely different publications. So there'll be things, you know, digital marketing, right, we'll do this, but everything has to be based around the album campaign and what the story of that album is, or the aesthetic of that album. So yeah, there's some basics, but I think even the way you do those is different, depending on what that album is.